Hi guys, and welcome back to the survival project. In the last episode we built up this awesome little gate here. I think it looks really good and I'm really happy with the design. It was a good way to sort of get myself back into this Japanese style. Now I've come along here and I have sort of built up this concept of a wall design. So it's got like a little bit of a dip in it just to add a little bit of height variation and stuff like that. Otherwise it is a fairly simple design. We've just got the prismarine on the top. There's prismarine stairs and prismarine slabs. And we've got a pretty neat little detail on the edges there where we've just got two upright stairs and one upside down stair coming out of it. Creates a nice little pattern. We're using some levers on the edge there just to add a little bit more detail. And I'm very aware that it is hitting night time right now. So let's keep this nice and sweet. I think this is the wall design I'm going to go with. So I might start off by just continuing it all the way along there. That could be a good way to get going, but in today's episode we're going to be working on a sort of nice little garden area over here. It's not going to be anything too expansive, a few benches, maybe a couple of custom trees and a load of plants. So yeah, we should be able to get quite a bit of work done on the wall today as well as this area here. Anyway, before it gets way too dark, which it probably already is, I'll catch you guys in a sec. In the last episode I was talking about how we may update to 1.15 and I wasn't sure because of replay mod and all that sort of stuff. What I just found out when I built this wall up here is that replay mod isn't loading things properly anyway in this world. Like, I built that entire wall and it only took about 7 minutes, but when I opened the replay mod to sort of edit it and, get it brought out into video format, none of it rendered in. My character model didn't move at all, absolutely nothing was working. So now it's got me thinking, what am I realistically waiting for to update? Because if the replay mod isn't going to work anyway, where is the point? I've had a few similar issues on this world with the replay mod not working. For instance, this build here, the roof never rendered in properly, and when I built the bridge up here, that one also didn't render in properly. So yeah, I'm just starting to think maybe it is worthwhile that we do just update to 1.15. We're not going to do that in this episode, because again, there are a few things that we're going to lose, such as optifying shaders and all of that sort of stuff. And I really love this zoom function. It's just super handy. But yeah, it's definitely making the decision to swap over a lot easier. Yeah, at any rate, that's quite enough of that interjection. Let's get started. I've moved our little workstation now, and that gives us a nice clean area to start working with. So the way I sort of like to get started on these things is, as you can see, I've already sort of come in and plotted out some little pathways and that. But I like to sort of get my seats in first and then sort of start planning everything around that. So I think it'd be a pretty cool idea to have one seat in here, and we're just going to use the trapdoors just to raise that up and make it look a little bit more like a seat. And we're definitely going to be putting one over here as well, I think, because this is a decent little viewing spot. We got the lighthouse in the distance there, and we've got a nice view of the ocean. And probably in here we could do with having a couple of seats. Now, I don't actually have enough brown dye at the moment. I've been growing cocoa beans really slowly, probably because they're all the way over there and I'm always in a different place. But yeah, I was thinking maybe we've got that bench there looking that way. Maybe here we could have like a couple of benches actually sort of looking towards each other, and then we could have one there as well. And this is going to give us our full sort of seating arrangement. I will eventually change these over into the brown beds, just because I think it looks quite a lot better. Yeah, and then from here we're going to sleep. And after we've woken up, I then like to sort of plan out where we're going to have some trees. So I want to at least have one tree that is reminiscent of the ones over there. So it's essentially going to be made of the same block palette. Maybe not that one, because that's using oak logs, but the other little garden we've got way on the other side over there, we're using these dark oak logs to make some pretty cool looking trees. So I think I'm gonna get one of those in here, and maybe we could get another one coming out just there. And then I think we're going to want some sort of slightly smaller trees in here as well. So we're going to use our sort of little fence tree design that we've got going on back over by our little villager section. I don't want to overdo this area with trees. I only want to get like a couple of little ones in here and there. So yeah, I think, to be totally honest, this is the sort of space that we're going to be working with. So let's run through how I like to build up my trees, and we're going to start off with these nice small ones. So basically what I do is we want to come up a little bit, so we're going to go one. In fact, actually, I need to go and get some leaves, otherwise we're just going to be sort of building a bit blindly. Leaves, I might not have pulled them out. We've got birch leaves, dark oak leaves. We can use the... depends what colour they are. These dark oak leaves are sort of biome dependent, and they're going to be red here. Don't particularly want red. What I want is some oak leaves. So let's just see if mixed in with these birch leaves, if we've got any oak leaves. We do not. Do I not have any oak leaves? I will be right back. This storage system is such a mess. Things are all over the place in here. Oh, we had some diamonds. That's nice. I don't really use many diamonds in a single player series. So like once you get your bits together, you're pretty much done. I'm starting to feel like though I don't have any oak leaves, which is a bit of an issue, seeing as I just completely deforested this entire area. Yeah, that's all prismarine. Huh. This could be a bit of an issue. I might have to go off and actually gather a load up. Okay, so we are back. I have some oak leaves now. I've also got a bunch of blue orchids because I figured we could use some of them around here, and that could wind up looking really, really good. So basically what we're going to do is come up by 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we're going to come out by 1, and we're going to go diagonal by 1, up by 1, and then diagonal again. So this is going to be one of the branches. So I like to make these trees sort of like reach out a little bit, and then on this one I'm going to come out this way and do a bit of a similar thing. We're going to go over, up and over, so this one's a little bit longer. But then what I want to do is bring this up by 1 more for this last branch. Do that, that, and that. And that is the basis for the tree. So we've got some branches coming out, and it looks very flat and very plain. But by the power of better leaves, we are going to make this look half decent. So literally, all I really do when I build these is come along and cover up the edges of all of the fence planks up to a point. So realistically, they're like that, and then we need to cover the top up, and we're going to do the same thing over on this side, just getting all of that nice and covered. And we're going to get you, that, and that. Now this is actually getting a little bit more covered than I would have wanted. I haven't necessarily laid the branches out the best here, but it won't look too bad when we jump down. We'll jump down and have a look. But yeah, I'm literally just tracing all of the lines along. Now I want to make sure that the branches are visible from the ground, so we're not going to cover any of the bottom up. And what we are going to do is just ignore that spot there, because it just doesn't matter. So if we jump down here, now you can see we've got a half decent looking little tree here. We could maybe do with covering those other bits of the branches up, but actually I think that looks okay. So let's get rid of that little stump there. And yeah, that's just a nice basic small tree. So it's not too complicated at all. I think when I first started building custom trees, I used to try too hard, if that makes any sense. Like, I used to think I had to do so much more to get them to look half decent, but yeah, that's just a nice, really, really simple tree design. Right, let me get the blocks together and we're going to work on this one, which is a little bit more complicated. So, just as a point of reference, these are the sort of trees that we're trying to make. Now, these are really nice and open, and yeah, it's a really, really simple thing to do once you sort of start doing it, I think. But yeah, these look really, really good, and that is what we're going to be doing over here. So let's sleep, because every time I push the record button at the moment, it seems to be turning to nighttime. So we'll get started in a sec. So for these trees, we're using purely dark oak, and we're using oak leaves, just again because my dark oak leaves have a bit of a weird texture in this biome. It works for some areas, but it's not going to work here. So basically, what we want to do with this, and actually, is this a good position for this? So here's another thing to consider when you're building your custom trees. Is it going to block the view of your build off too much? And actually, I think this one will. So we're going to get rid of that, because this gate isn't really something that we want to be completely obscuring. In fact, even this tree might be blocking it off a little bit too much. So we're going to work on it from this one here. So the base of it, I plant stairs around the whole side, just because it helps it to sort of look like the trunk's a little bit thicker than it actually is. Now, the coverage is another thing that we want to think about. I want to come up by 1, 2, and then I'm going to plant down one of these dark oak fences. Now, this bit here is actually going to wind up being covered in leaves. Again, just around the fence. So, sort of like that. And then one bit just up there like that. Now, the reason I do it like that is because I use the fences to represent branches rather than the actual blocks. And I think that sort of helps make things look a little bit better. So we want a little bit of height variation on all of the branches here. So we're going to have one at that height, and I think we'll also have this one at this height, but I would like to come up by 1 on this side straight away, and we can pop another one there. So from here, we'll focus on this top bit first. We're going to come up by 1, we're going to come along by 1, and then I think from here, literally, all we really need to do is come out by 2 there. We'll say 1 on this side, because we're going to have a branch pretty close to it there. And we can come out by maybe 2 on this side, because the other branch down there is really low down. And then all of this is going to get coated in leaves as well. So we get our leaves out. And again, we're just following around the fences. This is the easiest way I find to make custom trees anyway. Of this sort, there are different types that we can make, but this is probably one of my favourite types. So that just comes along like so, and like so, and just for good measure, we're going to drop another leaf down there. We're actually going to take our slab out now, and we're going to coat that bit and that bit there, just to make that look a little bit better. Now here, rather than going so far upwards, I think what I want to do here is come along. So we're going to go along by 2. And then I think if we take this and go like that, we're going to come out diagonally over to here. And we're going to come up by 1. And then we can come out by 1 there. We'll go out by 2 here. 1 here. And probably just 1 here. And that should wind up looking pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, and again, just completely coat it in leaves. It really doesn't take long to build these trees up, but when you're building an entire forest worth of them, that does take a long time. So yeah, if you're going to do that, just keep in mind you will wind up spending a long time doing this. So now over onto this one, we're going to come up. We're going to use the slab again. The only reason we're using slabs here is because if we use stairs, it's just not going to look right. Go along like that. Maybe we'll come out to there. And actually, I think I might want to do another diagonal here. And that should make this one look fairly interesting. So actually, in a strange twist of things, this branch is the one that winds up being the highest. But that is fine. Let's get our fences back out. We're going to go 1 and 2. 1. Probably just 1. And 1 again. And this should be enough to make this look half decent. So yeah, we'll just get these leaves in and then we can have a real quick look at it, because we've still got the rest of this garden to put together. Let's get those bits in, that in, that in, that in, and we're going to cover that bit up. So it's still looking quite nice and open on the top here. We're going to pop that one down there, and that should be our tree done. Now, am I happy with that? Maybe not so much. I think that might actually be a little bit too open. So maybe we just need to bring the diagonal in a little bit. Give me 2 secs. There we go. That looks a lot better. Literally, all I really did here is just get rid of the block that was hanging on there and move the diagonal over so that it was a little bit more immediate, and that kind of fixed all of the little issue that I had with it then. And I think that looks pretty good. It's pretty close to the other ones. I think you can tell I've not really been building many custom trees lately. I might just pop a leaf block on there. And yeah, there we go. That is one half decent custom tree built up. I still feel like something's slightly wrong with it, but for what it's worth, it looks half decent and it's going to do the job for now. So the next thing that we need to do here is just come along with a little bit of sort of like plant life, really. Go right here, I might just build one of these small little shrub type things. So for this, I just come up by one, do one side that goes over a little bit, and then just go like so, and again just grab the leaves following that, and it just makes a nice little shrub rather than an actual tree, because it's not always worth building a tree in the place. And in true style, it is turning nighttime because I've pushed the record button. But yeah, so that gives us a nice little shrub type thing going on there. So we need to get some plants in here, and we need to get some grass in here, and it should pretty much tie things together. I think over here is where we're going to be placing all of the blue orchids. Anyway, we need to sleep. So yeah, I think the blue orchids are going to come along this side, and I might actually have them come along this side, because you see over there we got the plants that are coming all the way along the ridge of the mountain. So mountain, it's more of a slight cliff, but you get the idea. So yeah, we're just going to fill this out with blue orchids. We're going to stop at a point maybe there, I think is probably pretty good. And we're just going to get this filled right the way in. Now we do want to sort of separate this somehow, so we're probably going to be using some fence posts just to sort of break it up a little bit, do stuff like that. And I don't like to have all of it completely connected. I think it's nice to have little gaps that we can get through. The other handy thing about doing this is that we can put lanterns on the top now, and that's going to give us a decent bit of lighting. And then with the rest of these, we should be able to do this side here. So we're just, again, going to fill it right in with loads of flowers up to about there, I think. And well, we can't have you there because we need to put some fence posts in and bring them round. And that gives us a nice little sort of flower bed, and it gives this side a little bit of a colour theme as well. And we are out of blue orchids, but that's okay. That pretty much filled all of that up anyway. So again, just doing the same thing, just a couple of fences here and there, rather than spamming them all over the place. And that fills that out. So then it's probably just going to be grass, and other like various flower types that we're going to be putting in. I do tend to just use bone meal for this and break down what I do and don't need. So let me just go and do that real quick, and then we can come and have another little look at it and see what we think. I've come along, I've added all the grass in now, we've added some like little lilacs just about the place as well. We've got some little mossy, cobblestoney sort of rock formations, and there's a load of just fences coming along. I might swap these out for the acacia ones, just to sort of keep it in theme with that over there. And I've finished off the little blue orchid garden over here. So yeah, I think this looks quite nice. It's not the best garden area we've ever made, but I think it is fit for purpose. It does kind of block this gate off a little bit, but I think from over here we can still definitely get an idea of it. I mean, as we're flying by, we definitely see it. The wall's hidden a little bit, but again, the wall's a wall. They're kind of there to be hidden. They're just there to keep things out. And of course, we can see it as we're coming through the area anyway. And actually, we get a pretty decent view of it from over here as well. So the main idea of building gardens like this is to break up the line of sight. So it's like, if I'm over here, I can't see everything that's over there. I can see that there's something there. It's like that in the distance there. It's completely blocked off by all of those trees. So it makes me interested to want to go over there and see what it is. And then again, just beyond that, we've got another building off in the distance there as well. So breaking up the line of sight is what doing all of this sort of stuff is really about. So, you know, we sort of come through, we're getting more and more detail revealed to us. We can see the bridge now, we can go across the bridge, or vice versa, going in the opposite direction. It's a lot more open because we've got the ocean in the distance, so there's not much to look at. But yeah, that's kind of how I look at gardens like this. Now, I know it's been a bit of a short episode, and if you think about it, we haven't really done too much. All I've really done is come in and build up a little bit of a garden and shown you a wall. But it really is all the time I've got today to sort of record this episode, and I want to try and get my uploads to be a little bit more frequent at the moment. I hope you kind of enjoyed the more sort of tutorial style that I did for building up these trees and showing you how I build these little gardens. I know in the past I've kind of just come along and built it and not really explained my thought process or why I've done anything. Here I've kind of talked you guys through everything that I've done. Now for the next episode, I really want to get the replay mod working again, so I'm going to look into that a little bit and try and get it going so we can get these walls built all the way around. And we still need to go and gather some animals. My pandas died as well, which makes me very sad because that jungle is a long way away and I've got to get 2 pandas back from there. So that is going to be a lot of fun for future me. But yeah, see, I think it just looks nice. Adding little details like that is what really, really sort of finishes a world off, I think. Like, yeah, we can build all of these amazing things, all of these really big, big builds. But if we don't add the nature along the outside, it just doesn't work out. It's like this little lavender field that we got going there, of all of the little purple plants. It just really finishes that little side off, and it's a huge contrast to the rest of the colour, the same as this orange. But what I really love about this orange, actually, just while we're here, we are coming from a really dark, murky forest, and it's finally starting to open up, and we've just got all of this blazing sunshine, we've got a lighthouse there, and we've got all of these really bright orange coloured flowers just really brightening the area up from that little dark dreary area that we've just been in. And that's sort of what I was going for there. This side we've got the blue orchids there. It adds a nice little contrast to the red that we've got going on and everything else, and just sort of helps to highlight the cliff face more so than anything. Anyway, as I say, I've rattled on quite a bit in this episode rather than done massive amounts of building. So the next episode is going to be a big building episode, so watch out for that one, and I will catch you guys in the next one.